Good.
What the fuck is up, ballers? It's your boy Cody, and I'm coming at you from my personal casting couch. Yeah, I am taking auditions for what do you call them?
Semen
High in the
demons.
back. No, not at all. I'm not
No.
taking auditions for those. You apply online for those. It's like a blind date for me. No, but I'm taking auditions for little people that hide in the background and edit these videos. I forget what they're called. Blanking on the words.
Editors.
You will be clothed. Yes, taking audition for editors. It is a clothed audition, but obviously, as you haven't heard yet, Corey's on the other end. Sunday is over with. It is now Monday. That's just how the week goes. Ravens and Raiders are playing right now. It's 24-24 tied. There's about 1:30 left. Ravens are moving. Justin Tucker's warming up his leg. But we are about to go and count down our personal top 5 for our Sunday slates. I'm going to let Corey take it off. We're going to start at the top 5, work our way down to number 1. Let's get it.
You got it, bro. Number 5, jumping straight in, I got Chicago at Rams. I did want to talk about this one because I do love Matthew Stafford, and he showed up. He got his new team. He got his new weapons. He showed up and put on, I think they call it a spectacle, and did well for his team. He went 20 of 26, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He came to play and did very well. They ended up winning 14-34. They went off is really all I can say. They look good. I thought they were going to need time to gel. That's not going to be the case. I already rated them pretty high in the tier, so there's not really much more I'm going to say about my number 5, except they're doing what I expected them to do.
Yeah, I mean, Stafford looked good, man. He was dancing after some throws. He looked happy to be having some help, which is an understatement because you can't say he hasn't had help before. He had Megatron, for Christ's sake. But he had multiple weapons out there on the field, running backs to dip to, multiple weapons to where you're not throwing in double coverage and just trusting that the dude is a legend behind the hands. No, it was a good game to watch. I still think Chicago sucks until they put Justin Fields out there.
Yeah,
we got to see him run in. We got to see him run in for a touchdown, but that was about it. I mean, other than that, you got to get Red Rifle out of there.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. We're going to my number 5, which is the Seattle Seahawks versus going to Indianapolis Colts. This game really wasn't that entertaining. You got exactly what you expected to see. You got Russell Wilson rushing. My bad, he did not rush at all. He just did his typical 250 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had his wizard-like throws to Lockett to where Lockett just looked like he knew where the ball was going before it left his hand. It was beautiful. The way that guy looks over his shoulders at the ball and everything and tracks it, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That matchup, if you have that in fantasy, that hookup, the Russ Lockett hookup, is one of the most electric, and I mean to use that word electric. It's a crazy hookup. Chris Carson is clearly the number 1. He had 16 carries. Nobody else even came close on the field. Obviously, Rashad Penny got injured. I do not know how bad that is. And I think it's official to say that Chris Carson is more than just a go route receiver. When he was coming out of college, everyone just said he can just run straight. That's clearly not the case, and I think it's official to say that. Wentz does what he always did. He doesn't always look good in the pocket. The Colts O-line looked shaky at best. The running backs couldn't get into a groove because they were playing from behind the whole time. The running backs actually led the team in catches, 6 apiece. Seattle ended up winning it 28-16. I mean, you got exactly what you expected.
As expected. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you call a number 5 right there. Pull up to the window. Y'all taking number 5? What's that mean? Means exactly what I expected, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You should know.
The most accurate kicker in the league just put up 3 points. Baltimore's up 27-24, 37 seconds left.
Good eye. I'm surprised I missed that.
I got it right next to my head. That's why I can see it. Go ahead with your number 4, and then I'll jump in.
Oh, snaking it back now, y'all. All right. For number 4, I got 49ers at Lions. Oh, I don't even have this page pulled up. Silly me.
That was one of them I didn't get to watch this weekend, but I did see the score, and it absolutely blew my mind.
It was a good game. And as usual, it was the running back genius, Shanahan, man. He can just do anything with anybody as long as they're coming out of the backfield. Garoppolo did good too. I'm not saying they had to rely on the run, but you just seen his genius where they had to pull the number 2 or number 3. I think Eli Mitchell's their number 3 technically because Trey Sermon would be their number 2 who didn't play. So Eli Mitchell stepped up. Raheem Mostert got hurt after 2 good runs. And then Eli Mitchell came in and tore it up as well, averaging 5.5 per carry behind 104 yards and a touchdown. Deebo Samuel went off 9 receptions, 189 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, that's another electric hookup right there, is Jimmy G and George Kittle. George Kittle looks like he wants to go out there and suplex people after he catches the ball. It's amazing. And on the Lions side, Lions they looked good in garbage time, but that's what you expect from garbage time. Jared Goff only had good garbage time stats. He ended up coming up with 338 and 3 touchdowns, but he made some dumb mistakes. An interception throwing under triple coverage. Like, it was just baffling to watch it. Like, what the hell were you aiming for it? Like, come on. Jamal Williams was only able to get 54 yards. Obviously, like I said, a lot of garbage time play. DeAndre Swift had the bulk of the carries, but didn't produce as much, only averaging 3.5 behind 39 yards. But is where the receiving comes in. Obviously, tossing out of the backfield is one of Jared Goff's specialties. When you're getting rushed, it's a lot of quarterback specialties. So I'm not hating on it. It's an aspect of the game which Tom Brady, one of the greatest, has utilized amazingly through his triumph through the league. DeAndre Swift had 8 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, 8 for 97 and a touchdown. And another running back, where 2 running backs had 8 receptions. The last one I covered had 6 apiece. Jamal Williams, 8 for 56.
Hey, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there for a second. 27-27, fourth quarter, 2 seconds left. Ravens.
Oh, dude, you got
I'm
to
sorry.
fucking butt in real fucking fast.
Raiders just tied it up.
Gruden looks like a proud dad right now on the sideline. He's got that little, like, a lower lip pouch. He's got it. He's like, "There's my boy. He did it."
All right, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just knew you wanted to hear about it.
Dundee kicked the ball. No, 49ers won 41-33. I'm sure people are pissed because 49ers didn't cover the spread, which they looked like they were going to do from the start of the second quarter. So shitty for people who gambled on this game, but I mean, on to the next. That's what you get at number 4.
Yeah, my number 4 is Packers at Saints. I'm going to say a bunch of stuff that I never thought I'd say. Jameis Winston looked good and accurate. He looks like he has good to decent arm power, and he looks like he could float it in just kind of whenever he needed to. And what I saw from him was he was able to extend plays and keep the ball alive, which I think was a huge plus side for them. I didn't think they were going to win this game, which they ended up doing 38-3. But when you're down 17-3 in going into the, I think it was like second quarter, middle of second quarter or something like that, you know the Packers have to throw, so you play a little bit of prevent, which causes you to force passes and just leads to turnovers. And when Green Bay did finally get to pick it off in the end zone and actually had a good 45-yard return, it was called back due to roughing the passer. So I felt a little bad for him there. But Winston did have 148 yards and 5 touchdowns. Looked a lot better than I ever anticipated him doing. Alvin Kamara, 20 carries for 83 yards. I know you have him on your fantasy team. Those are good points. A little less than what I expected from him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they didn't throw out of the backfield as much as you would expect. I mean, Alvin Kamara with 3 catches for 8 yards. That's kind of unheard of for Kamara. He's one of the best multifaceted players behind Run CMC.
Yeah, but I picked that one because of the score, and basically the Packers were, I don't know if they were hyped up, but they were just talked about. Exactly. Sure. It's a score that I wanted, obviously, to talk about, and the outcome is I did not think it was going to happen, so that's why I picked him at 4.
Gotcha. Let's bet on the coin toss for overtime.
$2. I got heads.
$10 for tails.
Oh, we went 10.
Yeah, we went 10. No, we'll go back to 2. We'll go back to 2. I'm a broke bitch. $2 on tails.
I don't
know what it is.
I was gonna say I didn't see what it was either.
Show it. I don't have the sound on.
Me either. We'll look it up. We'll see if we can.
Until next time.
Yeah. And my voice cracked like a little bitch. my voice cracked like a little bitch.
Overtime.
I'll tell you why in a little bit. So going back to what are we on? 3? I'll start with 3. I have Vikings at Bengals. I just want to start this one off by saying, wow. I did not expect the Bengals to get a win for the first game, let alone a win against the Vikings. And I know the Vikings aren't the greatest team in the league, but I thought they were a little better than that. But they looked like they clicked on all cylinders. You kind of expect their run game to be pretty decent with Mixon pretty much all year. But Jamar Chase, even though he was dropping his targets in preseason, he was pretty much on point. It says here he did rush once for -2 yards, but he had 5 receptions on 7 targets, I believe, for 101 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I feel bad. In fantasy, I told Bryson, like, yo, Jamar Chase, he had Jamar Chase in his flex. In our league, you can start a tight end, wide receiver, and running back, obviously, but the tight end is an additive in our flex. And I told him, like, yo, you should start Zach Ertz in your flex. I think he's a better flex. You got 2 decent tight ends. Boom, right there. I think Bengals, their main targets are obviously going to be T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. That wasn't the case. Jamar Chase ended up blowing up and outscoring Zach Ertz by almost 20 points, and Bryson came to me pissed.
Oh, I would be too.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
But yeah, like you said, T. Higgins, 4 receptions for 58 yards. Uzama had 2 catches for 35. Tyler Boyd became fucking David Blaine, and who's the other one? I wrote it down. David Copperfield. He got thrown a ball, and it looked like it was picked off, and it looked like they started to run the other way. Next thing you know, Boyd's on the ground hugging this ball. Like, first of all, how the fuck did you catch it? Second of all, how'd you keep it?
I didn't see that play.
It was good enough for me to remember, at least. But
yeah, the downside of red zone, if the play isn't in the red zone, you're not going to see a good play. It's the only thing I've noticed about the red zone. That's why I broke out the second TV.
Yeah, I never liked red zone. But yeah, that's my number 3. Oh, they did win 24-27.
ADHD all over the place.
Absolutely. Stop changing the fucking channel.
Right.
So who do you got at number 3?
Number 3, I got Chargers and Washington, number 1, because I thought Washington was going to have a better debut this season. What they looked like last year, I thought they were just going to improve upon. It doesn't look like that's the case. I mean, the defensive line was still there, obviously, but Herbert was better than I thought. I forgot he was on the team all the time on the offseason. I forgot the guy existed half the time. I guess this proves me. Justin Herbert throws for 337 and a touchdown. For the football team, Ryan Fitzpatrick ends up getting injured, a hip replasia or some weird ass word where it's not completely dislocated, but it's out of its joint socket or something like that.
He ruptured a hip is what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, I know this. I'm a doctor. I aced anatomy in high school. But Taylor Heineke ended up coming in. He threw for 11 for 15, 122 and a touchdown, which isn't bad. He didn't look like a bad replacement for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like, if you think your starter is Ryan Fitzpatrick, your backup's got to be like, ooh, cringeworthy. But Taylor Heineke actually stepped up, did pretty good. Antonio Gibson did good, 90 rush yards. With 20 carries, you wish to see a little bit more production, but he was in the pass game a little bit, 3 catches for 18 yards. Scary Terry had one of the best catches you'll probably see all year. The way he tracked this ball and contorted to find the ball on his right shoulder, going to the left out of bounds, falling in the left out of bounds, finding this ball over a defender while the ball's falling through a defender's arms. It was just incredible how he stayed in as well. It was crazy, and gonna be up for catch of the year all year until it gets forgotten, until there's just a lightweight good pass at the end of the year, and then we overhype that like we always do. But the Chargers looked like they had this handily through the whole game, essentially. But I mean, Washington was up, but it looked like Chargers were in control when you watch this game. Especially in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter, I thought Washington made a crucial mistake where, well, no, let me take it before this, because before that, I don't want to go out of the timeline. I'm not a time traveler. But there was a weird tip pass from the Chargers going into the end zone. It was a bad pass, tipped right out of Herbert's hand. But I guess if you replayed it slowly, the ball was tipped before it came out of his hand, and then he just pushed the ball forward, essentially. Almost an interception, but the ball hit the ground, so nobody thought of it. If you watch, the ball rolls out of the end zone. The refs call the play a fumble, which rolls out of the end zone, which results in a touchback Washington ball. Just a crazy ball. What you thought was a near interception, but incomplete, completely turnover due to the weird NFL rule circumstances.
Jeez.
And then late in the fourth, I think Washington made a mistake with like 6 minutes left or so. They punt the ball instead of going for it on 4th and 7. They're already down by 4. They thought their defense was going to be able to hold up and stop them. Well, they were dead wrong because the Chargers.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to yell. Raiders just fucking won it.
Raiders won the game.
What a pass. What a stretch. Holy.
Walk-off touchdown, overtime. That's what I like to see. I like to see a damn good game in a division rival fall.
33-yard reception from Carr to Edwards. Reached for like 2 yards to get the touchdown. Jesus, okay.
It was a play where like the pass looked like it was for deep but overthrown. The corner couldn't come back to it in time. The receiver got to it first. And then he just outruns them both.
Oh, he might be down.
It may not be over.
Yeah.
He may be down by his knees when he stretches.
He
is down. He's going to be down by inches.
Holy.
Down by inches. But the reach was still incredible nonetheless. Incredible. He's lucky the tackler came down on the lower half of his legs, because you could see him try to stiffen it up. But essentially the game is over. You're in goal line. They're not going to risk the ball. They're going to keep it on the ground. And then they're going to kick a field goal, which essentially you want a touchdown, because if you kick a field goal, Ravens still get a chance to have it on offense. That's not what you want. And this is a mistake because Raiders are walking around like they had won the game. They're talking. They're
this is
shaking
weird.
hands with everyone. This is bad. This is bad. This is like this mimics the time where the Browns kicked a field goal in overtime and it bounced off the back curl of the post and it came back out. Ravens ran in thinking they won the game, but they had to come back out. Some players were already undressing. They had to come back out and finish the game because we tied it up to send it into overtime.
What a
because
pass!
The game ended. Drops back, scrambles to his right a little bit, falling backwards. Yeah. Incredible. Not the outcome either of us predicted for the Raiders to be right now standing at a 98% chance to win this game in overtime, 27-27 right now.
If they win this game, I might have to write Derek Carr an apology for calling him super average.
We labeled him as a 5 on our scale.
Mediocre. And rated the team as a C. There's still a lot of football left to be played.
There's about 3 inches of football left to be played if Raiders play their cards right.
I'm talking about in the season. A lot of mediocrity to be had.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yes. Let's get to our number 2. We'll try to chime in and look now.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first play is about to be hyped.
Oh, he didn't get it.
Quarterback sneak, Derek Carr.
Yeah.
There's a big pile. He might have gotten it. We'll see. But my number 2 coming in with Eagles at Falcons. This one was I was predicted this one correctly, but it was projected as an upset for some dumb reason because you can just see the Falcons decline over the years since the Super Bowl choke job.
This game was
right off rip in the first quarter. Right off rip. No, Falcons had the choke job in the Super Bowl.
Well, I know, but this was a choke job for the Falcons is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. This game was a choke job. Oh, yeah. That's all they did was choke on dicks the whole time. But right off rip in the first quarter, Devontae Smith, rookie, gets his first NFL touchdown. A nice play over the throw and over the shoulders. Hurts is really mobile, and that's something we forgot, seeing him behind a mediocre Carson Wentz. I mean, we all know Hurts was going to take his job eventually, but it took longer than we all expected. Now Hurts is looking really good. The offensive line is looking good, and I like how they call a lot of college-looking plays. A lot of fake handoffs, a lot of double handoffs and stuff from the Eagles. Looks real college-like, and I like it. Falcons on the other side. This game was one-sided, obviously 32-6, so there's not much of a timeline to upkeep. It was just the Eagles the whole way. Jalen Hurts with 264 and 3 touchdowns. Miles Sanders with 74 rush yards, 4 catches for 39 yards in the receptions. Devontae Adams, 6 for 71 and a touchdown. Jalen Reagor, 6 for 49 and a touchdown. And Dallas Goedert, 4 for 42 and a touchdown. And why Bryson is so mad at me, Zach Ertz, 2 for 34. Yeah. On the Falcon side, Matty Ice with a big whopping 164 and 0 touchdowns. Cordero Patterson had 54 yards in the rush game. Mike Davis had the bulk of the carries, though. 15 for 49 yards. Cordero Patterson's a hybrid guy where I think they line him up at receiver as well.
Yeah.
He had 2 catches. Mike Davis had 3 catches for 23. It looked like Matt Ryan was going to try to target Calvin Ridley early a lot, but he didn't happen because he only ended up with 5 for 51, where in the first drive alone, he hit him with 2 receptions. Kyle Pitts wasn't what we wanted, 4 for 31. He was out there a lot, just didn't produce a lot. I think the Eagles' defense was just really good in this game as well.
Definitely not the outcome.
32-6. Yeah, I picked this because it was upset that I projected, and apparently nobody else seen coming, but I thought it was
not at all.
easy.
I think it was kind of a fluke game. But anyways, that's your number two. My number two is why my voice is so crackly and I sound like I'm going through puberty. I was at the Steelers Bills game this Sunday, and let me tell you, I've never been happier leaving this stadium. Steelers ended up winning this thing 23-16, and it's my number two because I liked the outcome and the way obviously a game went better than I did this one. Steelers were scoreless for the entire first half, and then Bills had 10. It was 10-0 going into halftime. So you come back out. It looked like the game was over. You know, Bills fans are loud, crazy.
Whoa. I have to stop you. This game is not over, people. It was 3 inches away. They somehow get backed up
False
to the
start.
3-yard line, and then the Raiders decide to fucking throw it. Why the fuck you would even try to attempt to throw it when you could kick a field goal as an escape out? It goes a short looking like slant, should look like an easy touchdown, bounces off the receiver's hands, bounces off the Ravens' helmet, goes into the air. The Ravens catch it, instantly lay down in the end zone, touchback. Ravens have the ball now, overtime, 6 minutes left. This game is turned on its heels. From what looked like John Gruden, a proud dad, looked like he wanted to give that kid up for adoption. He's like, Matt, what's going on over here? We don't know. What's happening over here, champ? I don't know what's happening. Your parents didn't love you. When I got you, I loved you, but now I don't. Like, what the fuck is going on? This game is head-scratching.
All right, so it looks like they got a timeout. But anyways, Steelers end up coming back out, putting up 6 points in the third quarter from 2 field goals. So they're starting to get some points. They got a little bit of momentum going. Fourth quarter rolls around. 17 total points in the fourth quarter to come back and upset the Bills at Highmark Stadium. You got 1 touchdown from Ben to Deontay. Obviously, another field goal. And the most momentum-changing thing I've ever seen happen in person, a blocked punt from probably about the 15, maybe even a little closer. Steelers block a punt. Killebrew blocks a punt. Ulysses Gilbert picks it up, runs it into the end zone. TJ Watt finishes that game with 2 sacks since he was kind of screwed out of Defensive Player of the Year last year. I'm sure everybody's going to be paying attention to him. So that's why
This is that game where everyone that preaches, special teams, it's a third of the game, you got to preach it, blah, blah, blah. This is that game where everyone will show you tape of, and this is why, and this is why. But yeah, it was an incredible play, and like you're right, it completely flipped the game around. The game as a whole was all defensive until that play, and then it flipped the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, Ben only finished with 188 yards with 1 touchdown. So, I mean, not too hot, but they did. He didn't throw 50 times, so I'm absolutely happy with that. Najee Harris only had 45 yards rushing. He did have 1 catch out of the backfield and not a whole lot of receiver action. I mean, Deontay Johnson had 5 catches for 36 yards, and Juju had 4 for 52. So, I mean, looking at the stats, if you just look at the stats, it looks like the Bills won this game. They dominated.
It looks like a terrible game if you look at the stats.
They dominated in total yards, 371 to 252. They dominated in pass rushing, 254 to 177. Sorry, getting choked up.
Oh, fumble.
Oh, my God.
Lamar Jackson fumbles it. Raiders have it. This game is crazy.
We're going into 2 overtimes, people. It's got it all.
We're talking roller coaster.
But yeah, they dominated the rushing yards, 117 to 75 yards. They averaged about the same amount of yards per play. The biggest thing, TJ was able to force a fumble and a turnover on Josh Allen. Josh Allen did not look like himself. He just did not. He was running a little bit. They really couldn't get the run game going too crazy. But a lot of it was kind of.
Right here. Here's the play. Right here's the play.
Kind of middle deep passes.
Lamar steps back. Takes too long. The pockets collapse on the edges. He steps up, gets tackled, loses the ball. Picked up Raiders. Derek Carr was like, thank God. Bailed us out of that one. My dad won't give me up for adoption now.
I'm not grounded.
Do you forgive me now, Dad?
But yeah, I'm gonna call this.
Face cracks me up.
I'm gonna call this Steelers-Bills game. I don't know if I said the score. It was 23-16 Steelers. I'm already calling this upset of the season. I don't care who you are. Nobody was a bigger underdog than the Steelers walking into that building.
Nobody did project this at all.
But yeah, that's why they're my number 2. And if you're ready, I'm ready to go number 1.
That's it.
My number 1 is Cardinals at Titans. I did not expect this. I knew
another game nobody's seen.
I knew the Cardinals were going to be great.
Everyone was Ray Charles to this game.
I knew they were going to be good. I just didn't expect them to put up a score like that against a team like that.
Put a molly-whopping on them, dude.
Watching the highlights of this game, you can see what was going to happen. Derrick Henry only rushed 17 times for 58 yards. He had 3 receptions for 19 yards. He was completely underused in this game. And why you're underusing the best player on your team is absolutely beyond me. But on a good note, like I said, we hyped up the Cardinals real good, and I expect this team to do really well. Kyler Murray, 21 of 32 for 289 yards, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick.
My boy.
The pick was just kind of
34 fantasy points too.
Yeah, the pick was I believe it just like at the end of going into halftime. I believe just one of them throw it up kind of things. But Chase Edmonds did very well. 12 carries for 63 yards and 4 receptions for 43 yards. DeAndre Hopkins all over the field, just burning them. Christian Kirk, another quiet receiver that they have. Both of them had 2 touchdowns, 5 and 6 receptions, about 80 yards apiece. I mean, this team, I think in the tier list, I said I think they were going to take a few games to click. You do not see that. They just hop on the field.
Win it.
Oh,
Derek Carr drops back about 10 yards, lobs it over the top of all the safeties and everything, wide open guy. Looks like the Ravens just gave up, literally. Wow. They just said, have it. We done fucked up too much, bruh.
But yeah.
Game over.
Cardinals, Titans.
33-27.
Kind of close to the score. Cardinals, Titans.
That game was Kyler Murray is really good at running, as we all know, and he's really good at getting tackled, if that's a talent. But he's good at not getting tackled hard. There's some like RG3 was a prime example of when he ran, he's gonna get laid the fuck out. But Kyler Murray's good at he'll turn his hips just a little bit, just a slide out of a hard hit and just slip on the guy's back or something. He's so good at that. No one expected the mollywop, and I even wrote down in letters, even drew a perfect looking stop sign, but I can't find it right now, where it said Cardinals stop Derrick Henry for the win.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did, because we all know Tennessee Titan goes as King Henry goes, and he didn't go, so the Tennessee Titans didn't go.
But then you look at the other side, from the other side of the ball. I mean, their defense played amazing. Isaiah Simmons had a pick. Chandler Jones had 5 sacks.
Yeah, Chandler Jones was a dog. He's going to be. He was going nuts. But take a look at it like this. Think of the Cardinals going up against the subpar defenses. Tennessee Titans top 10. I wouldn't say top 5, but they're top 10.
Yeah.
Is that more of a slight on the Cardinals' offensive line?
I don't know what that means.
If he's getting sacked all the time, is that a slight on the offensive line, or is that a boost to the defense?
No.
I don't think Titans really go back to playoffs, honestly, this year. Like, I don't see it. Like, I see it, but after I seen him play today, they go as King Henry goes, and I think everyone realizes that finally.
If they play like they did today, or like they did Sunday, it's going to be very tough.
Which I think they will. I started off when Tannehill was with Miami. I was not a believer in Tannehill. Did not think he was good. He came back, showed me wrong. Titans have been good. And now after seeing last game, I'm going back to he's not a bust, but he's not the quarterback we all thought. He's overpaid.
No, I mean, he's not bad. He's not bad. 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. You just have to use your playmaker. You got the biggest running back in the NFL. Use the dude. But yeah, that was my number 1.
That was a good number 1, because I had that up there too. I should have bet on these games single individually, but I put them all in one parlay. Next time I'm going to put them all in a parlay and bet them individually, so I can still reap the rewards of my individual achievements. You got to get something. I scratch your back with giving you money. You can scratch my back with giving me a little bit of it back. Isn't that how gambling works?
I guess.
That's literally how it is. Yeah, I spend money. I look like it looks like I'm winning, so I get a trip in my brain that says, "Hey, keep doing this. You're addicted. You can keep winning." But in reality, in the long haul, the house is taking more of the money. So I'm scratching his back a lot, and they're just gently rubbing mine. But my number 1 is Browns at Chiefs, obviously. And I select this one because, well, Browns are just fucking amazing. And I love seeing amazing. If I could have covered the Thursday game, I would have done that for the Cowboys too. Seeing good wins within a loss. Obviously, we were going to lose to the Chiefs. Everyone thought that. Okay. Obviously, we thought we were going to lose to the Chiefs. Everyone thought that. If nobody thought that, then we won, we'd be on the same level as the Steelers right now, upsetting the Bills. But the Browns look really good in the loss. A fun fact: we are 21-1 in season openers since 1999. Right off rip, it looked bad. It looked good for us with Patty Mahomes throwing an interception. We scored fast. It looked good, but then it looked bad because one of our stud offensive players, Harrison Jr., gets ejected. I don't know what he was trying to do, if he was trying to step on the guy or just trying to get over, but he was being held by people. And then stupidly, one of the Kansas City staff members pushes him, and he pushes back, gets ejected from the game. Dumb part on both parties. I still think that staff member should get fined too. You don't touch the players either. You let them handle it. If he's stepping on them, you let the other player back him up, okay? You're not a man. That's why you're on the sideline wearing the polo, okay? These guys are wearing uniforms. You let them deal with it. You want to get shoved and get your headset pushed off, then be my guest. But they shouldn't get penalized for it. The Browns, they played very aggressive, going for it on multiple times on fourth down early, which paid off. It looks like we really have not packages, but it looks like we have good plays mapped out for this rookie Schwartz, one of the fastest rookies in the draft combine this year. So that looks good for them. Kelsey, right off rip, looked way too fired up for me to be happy, because when Kelsey's fired up, you know he's going to dog on people, and that's exactly what he did to us. He straight dogged on us. In every play, he was flexing, making sure it was known. Travis Kelsey ended with 6 for 76, but he had 2 touchdowns, 1 critical touchdown. Tyreek Hill finished 11 for 197 and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill had his usual I'm completely wide open plays just because he's better than everyone else out there. He had a play on against John Johnson late, and John Johnson is a complete stud. But John Johnson, it looked like he was running to the side of the field trying to beat Tyreek Hill over there, predicting Patty Mahomes is just going to lead him far. And John Johnson's thinking late in the game, I'm going to get an interception. No, they throw a little bit of trickery midfield. That's how much chemistry they have between them. Patrick Mahomes is like, no, I'm throwing it short to you on purpose. Tyreek Hill slows up a little bit. John Johnson overruns the coverage. Tyreek Hill was wide open, runs it in. We just get dogged late in the game. As soon as they go up, okay, first off, we had a fucking bad play to where Jamie McGillen completely fucks up a punt, picks it up, tries to run with it, gets tackled, they gets turned over. They get the ball in red zone. They instantly score off of that for a touchdown. Now we're down, and instantly Baker Mayfield just looked shaky. Oh, okay. But ultimately, fucking Kansas City was better. I know I mentioned in earlier videos that I do think Browns have a better outlook into the future. Kansas City just proved that they just go next level when it's fourth quarter. They ended up winning 33-29. It was a damn good game to the final play. Baker Mayfield threw a touchdown to pretty much seal the deal. I don't know what he was doing. I think he was just doing too much. He got shaky, and that just sealed the game. Stepped up into the pocket, got a little bit tangled up, tried to just do it. He should have just threw it out of bounds, but he tried to let the receiver get it still and came up with the interception. And that was my number 1.
Yeah, I don't.
Off my sadness.
I don't really have anything to add to that because like I said, I was in Buffalo. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of the later games. But yeah, that is the budget backtrack, where we just review kind of the games that we liked last week. Next, we're going to jump into predicting Thursday, September 16th game, which is Giants at Washington. And now, knowing what you know now, you have an injured QB, which I don't really take. I don't know if I really take that into account because they paid Heineke all this money because of what he did last year. And he's shown that he can perform. So who do you have winning the Giants-Washington game? And what's your score?
I have Washington winning it. And this game's a little bit easier for the Washington football team. Obviously, they're going up against Giants, who looked lackluster in their debut as well. Heineke did look good, and if they have to stick with Heineke, I don't think it's going to fall to them because Daniel Jones doesn't look all that good either. And this is the defensive front for Washington that can really, really get into the head of Daniel Jones and give him that duh look, even more than he usually does. I think Scary Terry goes off. They don't have the secondary to compete with them. They have Logan Thomas. Final score, what I say, 3 touchdowns. I think Antonio Gibson gets 2 touchdowns. And that's a touchdown in the air. So that's 21. I say 24-16. Washington football team.
I agree with you definitely. Washington winning this. I also agree with you with the 24, but I don't give the Giants that much credit as well. I say 24-10 at best.
Oh, I only give them 16 because I feel like Daniel Jones is going to get a garbage time touchdown, and they're going to incorporate Saquon early, and they're going to have to. They didn't do that well last game. Saquon's got to bust out from this injury. He's got to go back to being the beast he used to be. And I think he's going to show a little bit of glimmer in that early, and then they're going to get down, and then garbage time touchdown gives them 14. Maybe they have a botched play or two.
Yeah, see, I think they're still kind of babying Saquon a little bit. I'm going to look up, because that's one I didn't even look at stats for. I'm going to look up his stats. Kind of baby Saquon, try to keep him from being hurt, which, it's completely understandable. But then
it's a shitty thing. He's going against a great defensive front.
Let's see here. Saquon Barkley.
Washington's secondary is not the best, but their defensive front is a force to be reckoned with.
10 attempts for 26 yards.
Yeah, like he didn't produce a whole lot off of those attempts, but he also didn't get a lot. And a lot of Saquon's talent comes in the form of receiving too, which he didn't do a lot.
Yeah, he had 1 reception for 3 targets for 1 yard.
Yeah, they didn't want him out there a lot. They were just testing it. It's like dipping a toe in the water. But now you're going up against Washington. This is a division rival. You're already down 0-1. Maybe go knee deep. Come on. Sometimes you just got to submerge your balls entirely just to get it over with. And if that means putting Saquon in for 20 attempts at the run game and targeting him like 8 times maybe in the backfield.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, we'll see. Go knee deep or go ball, bud.
Thigh high, baby.
Thigh high try. What up? We're pledging. But that was our top 5 and our predictions for the next Thursday game between New York and Washington. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Comment below. Let us know what your top 5 games were of Sunday's slate or of the week in general. We just didn't want to cover Thursday or the current game that was going. We knew we'd talk about it enough like we did. But I'm Cody. That was Corey. We're fucking ballers on a budget. And till next time, bros.
See you.